Hey guys, welcome to Whiskey and Literature. I'm Captain Mike. I do whiskey and book reviews, and today it is whiskey. I'm going to do a brief review of this bottle, but mostly it's about a question that I have, a scenario that I was in, and I'm wondering what you think about what I chose to do and what you would have done in this scenario. Here's the situation. We get invited as a family to my son's soon-to-be in-laws home for Thanksgiving. Now, to me, that is a big deal. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. Now, we're out of town in the Phoenix Valley. Kind of bad for us to be making Thanksgiving dinner, so we were grateful to be invited to someone else's house for Thanksgiving. So I decided to take the father a bottle of whiskey. So I'm going to give you what I know about him, and you can think about what bottle you would have taken. And maybe already some bottles popped into your head. What is your favorite bottle? What would you take to someone in this sort of situation? Now, this is what I know about him. And we've been out to eat a few times with him and his wife and our kids. So I know him. We've had some good conversations. He knows that I have a YouTube channel. I know that he used to work at Total Wine and he likes whiskey. And this is what I know about his whiskey appreciation and for spirits in general. He likes Scotch. I know he's an Ardbeg fan. He likes the Balvenie. He dabbles in rye and in bourbon, but I would consider him more of a Scotch guy. And I know he likes tequila, good tequilas. So that's frankly all I know about him and his whiskey. My son didn't go over and take a picture of his whiskey collection to kind of give me some hints. And so I just, knowing that information, I walked into Total Wine & More and walked around the store and tried to find him a bottle. So given that information, what bottle would you have picked up for him? So I almost picked up the Ardbeg 14. I thought that's $169. Sounds like a pretty awesome bottle. I think the value of that would be enough to say thank you for you and your family inviting us into your home for this holiday. But I know that he really enjoys Ardbeg. And I know he's not independently wealthy, but he seems to be able to get what he wants and needs. So I thought, well, maybe he already has the Ardbeg 14. And I would hate to buy him that for that money, not knowing if he already had it or not. So a little backstory, and this will tell you exactly what I did. A couple weeks ago, I went to Total Wine here in Tampa looking for a tequila finished rye or bourbon. High West used to have the Prisoner Share. They're coming out with a Noble Share this year, which is a High West whiskey finished in Casa Noble tequila. So I thought, they didn't have that, any rye or bourbon at Total Wine finished in tequila. But they said they had a Scotch finished in tequila. So fast forward now, 2 weeks later, I'm in Phoenix at Total Wine trying to find a bottle for a Scotch lover who really likes tequila. Do you see where I'm going with this? So I say to the guy at Total Wine, I decide I'm going to get him this Scotch finished in tequila. I'm like, where is your Scotch finished in tequila? And they said, we don't have one. I'm like, I know you do. After a long search, they finally found this bottle for me. And I thought, this is a win-win situation for me. Because if it's no good, well, I can just say, sorry, I didn't know. I haven't had the whiskey. And if it's a good whiskey, I can say, great, I think I did a good job. And as an additional benefit to me, I figured, I bet he pops the top of that bottle while we're there, and I get to taste it there at Thanksgiving dinner. And sure enough, and I really did appreciate it. So that's what I did. I went to Total Wine, not really knowing what his whiskey is, what he has, and bought him Smokehead Terminado. It's a single malt Islay Scotch finished in tequila casks. So my two questions are, what would you have done in this situation? And what do you think about the bottle that I picked for him? Have you ever had any of the Smokehead products? They seem to be a kind of a finishing type producer of whiskey for the most part. I don't know that they actually distill their own whiskey. I think they source it and then they finish it, or they age it a little more and produce it and sell it under their brand. Obviously, their packaging is what could be considered non-traditional. I mean, have you ever seen a Scotch whiskey finished or packaged in a box like this, or in a bottle like this. I don't think I've seen anything like this before. Definitely it's a non-traditional than that typical stodgy kind of Scotch that we see. But let's go through the specs and stats of this, and then I'll tell you what he thought about it as I'm having a little pour here at my house. And I went out and bought this bottle just this morning for this video. Again, I bought this at Total Wine & More. I paid $54.99. It is a Scotch single malt Islay whiskey finished in tequila cask. It is non-age stated. And mash bill, well, it's a single malt Scotch. I went to the website to see if I could find from the Smokehead's website some more information about it. And it's one of those producers that their website, it's really all fluff and not much real information. To me, it's just all marketing and rah Smokehead. I do appreciate websites that have some more information. Where does the whiskey come from? That sort of stuff. And it doesn't have that. So that doesn't, oftentimes to me, it seems to indicate a product that is inferior and they're just trying to market it up. What awards did it win and all that sort of stuff. Honestly, let's see, it's a 700 milliliter bottle. Did I say that it's 43 ABV or 86 proof? All right, let's get to the whiskey and then call it a day. And again, if you haven't seen my videos recently, 2 months ago, we were flooded inside our house. It's why it's echoey. I have no flooring, no walls. Basically, it's a slab, block walls. I know it's echoey, and we're gonna tear this house down in just a couple of weeks, so it'll be what it is. So thanks for bearing with me. Smokehead Terminado. And for the record, he seemed to really enjoy the whiskey that we had there. And I was talking to his daughter afterwards, and she said, no, he seemed to really enjoy it. And if he hadn't enjoyed it, you know, he just kind of wouldn't have gone back for more pours. And I saw him have multiple pours, and I myself also had multiple pours at Thanksgiving. Didn't get wasted or anything, but I had a good time. I'm really grateful, man. I love Thanksgiving, and I was very grateful that he and his family would invite us over and share that with them. It was really nice. If you like Scotch, if you like a little bit of peat, a little bit of smoke in there, that's what I'm getting. It's sweet, kind of raisiny on the nose. There's a hint of peat and some smoke in there. Raisiny banana bread coming through. I'm not getting really a strong tequila note, and I didn't notice that either. I don't drink a whole lot of tequila, but I didn't get a lot of that when I had this before at Thanksgiving. Obviously, I liked it enough to have bought a bottle this morning. Cheers, Smokehead Terminado. If that peat was noticeable on the nose, it's even more noticeable on the palate. It's not Ardbeg. It's not some hugely peated whiskey. But me, as an American drinker of mostly bourbon and rye, I don't drink a lot of the peaty stuff. So if you're a Scotch or a Scot guy, Scotch, and you drink a lot of that peated whiskey, you might not notice the peat as much as I do. I watch guys who do reviews of heavily peated whiskeys, and they don't even mention the peat and the smoke. And I drink that same whiskey, and that's all that I notice. So to me, that's first and foremost. I feel like it's stronger on the palate than on the nose. I think it's like light to medium bodied. It's not very viscous or weighty. It's not an authoritative boom whiskey. And it's only 43 ABV, which is pretty typical for a Scotch. Has some kind of an oaty, maybe oaty drizzled with a bit of honey, some lemon zest in there, a little bit of citrus note, just a thread of that lemon zest coming through. But again, not really picking up. Maybe underlying there's a hint of that tequila, but I'm not getting any really strong. Okay, maybe there it is. Maybe there's a little bit of that tequila sweetness, that smokiness, and maybe it's that smokiness on is not that Scotch smokiness, but maybe some of that tequila sweet smokiness, as opposed to kind of the peaty smoke that we associate with the Scotch. Honestly, for 54 bucks, I think this is kind of it's not the best Scotch I've ever had, but I think it is a nice bottle. It's an interesting look. It's an interesting producer or distillery. They're putting out some different finishes. That seems to be kind of their thing. And I think it is good enough. Certainly for $54. It is non-age stated, so we don't know the age of it. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this. Again, at $54. If I was paying much more than that, I would expect a little better, an age statement, something like that, that justifies that higher price. But at 54 bucks, I think it's a fun bottle. I think if someone doesn't really like Scotch, doesn't not into that peatiness at all, you're not gonna like this. If that's your thing, then that's not your thing, then this is not your bottle. So just don't even bother even thinking about it. So, but I mean, I knew what I was getting when I bought this bottle. I might have had 4 pours at Thanksgiving dinner. Space out over a long period and not like heavy pours. Had a good time. So, but I think overall, my thoughts on this bottle are, for $54, it is a solid addition to your shelf. You can't go wrong. I know they have some other expressions, and I think they're all around the $54 range, maybe 49 to 60 bucks right in there at Total Wine. I think Total Wine is a big distributor for them. I don't know if they're at other places or not, but I am super happy to have this, and I'm happy with my choice to take to their house this bottle. He seemed happy, I was happy, and to me, that's a win-win situation. Thoughts? Let us know. Comment below. All right, guys, if you have enjoyed the video, like it. It's free. Subscribe to see more of my content. Again, I do whiskey and book reviews, but for now, my friends, you know what to do. I hope you're reading something good and drinking something great, and wear that damn hat. Cheers.